Kia ora, everybody. My name's Ro, and I hope to be your favorite transient auntie. Today is our first Ask Auntie from our new place in Levin, and I'm going to tackle two questions because they're really very similar. First up, I got this one. Love you, Auntie. Thank you. A question. Have you experienced less bigotry in New Zealand? Is there a noticeable difference in your everyday life? A great question, but I also received, where is it here? Here it is. I've got them all up on my screen here. Uh, how are you liking living in New Zealand so far? Is it better for trans and overall LGBTQ rights as far as societal acceptance or legal protections? Is it better than the United States in any other ways? Okay, well, let's get into that. So, um, since almost since I got here, I noticed immediately a very welcoming and accepting vibe for the entire queer culture. I'm going to put a picture here. This is a sticker that I have seen in, excuse me, that I have seen in most retail windows here in New Zealand. Just boom, right out there. We're not messing around. All are welcome here. Um, Learning a little bit more about everything. The Maori have a specific word for uh, their gender diverse individuals. I don't know how to pronounce it, and I didn't look it up right before I did this, so I'm hoping that it's Takatapui. I could be completely off base. I'm going to put the actual word here. If my pronunciation is off, someone please correct me. If I said a completely wrong word just now, forget I did that and just pay attention to this one. Anyway, I found that though that word appears in like the big legal framework documents of New Zealand, the Bill of Rights that y'all passed in 2008, 2009, somewhere around there, includes identifying Takatapui individuals. God, I hope I'm saying that right and that it's the right word at all. Um, but anyway, the fact that your highest level documents recognize that there are gender nonconforming individuals and they have every bit as much right to citizenship and protection as anyone else, that alone is leaps and bounds ahead of even where the U.S. was just a bit ago. But right now, of course, the U.S. completely denies the existence of trans people at the federal level, which is ridiculous. So, aside from the fact that New Zealand as a whole seems much more welcoming and accepting of the entire queer community, I would say that it's just friendlier in general. People tend to smile more. People, wave and chat. I get more compliments here even than I did back in the States. Uh, but when we were still in our old place back outside Wellington, we were walking back to our apartment from a bus stop, and a woman literally stopped her car in the street and rolled down her window to compliment me. That was lovely. I've had some very enthusiastic interactions. There was the woman running the shop where I acquired my medicinal water pipe uh, was not from New Zealand. She was from an Asian country. I do not know which one. And she was trying to complement different components of both Auntie T and I's outfits. And this lovely woman literally said, I don't know enough English to compliment everything that I like. Which, wow, like this woman literally did not have the words, at least not that I would have understood as a monolinguistic expat from the United States. So just everything has been great. Things are much greener here. There's trees and bushes and just plants everywhere. I don't see a lot of plain grass yards. Now, people have grass, people have lawn sections like a lot of people would be more familiar with in the States. But aside from like designated parks and public field regions, I've not seen sprawling expanses of just grass, because just grass is pretty useless from an ecological standpoint. And New Zealand is an incredibly eco-conscious country from what I've seen. A lot of things that I've bought, electronics and stuff, they come packaged in uh, like stiff cardboard, like the egg crates, rather than styrofoam. And I've even gotten stuff where instead of being wrapped in like a little plastic bag, they're wrapped in little paper bags. Speaking of which, there are no plastic bags. Like when you go to a grocery store or any other type of retailer, there's no plastic. You're either bringing your own or buying there a reusable canvas or that like plasticky kind of stuff, that's like somewhere between paper and plastic. Every place sells those, one or the other, and you got to bring your own bags or you're carrying everything out. Well, you can use your cart, to get everything back to your car, but then you're just putting a bunch of random stuff in your car, which we definitely have done when we forget our bags. And the cleanliness, everything is so clean, at least anywhere I've been that I've seen, which is great, because one of my absolute favorite things about living down here, I can walk around without my shoes on. I can go into stores, restaurants, banks with no shoes on. I have not seen a no shirt, no shoes, no service equivalent anywhere. I assume a private business could enforce a shoe rule if they so chose, but there is no blanket standard for such. For a couple weeks, I wore my shoes all the time. And then I realized that I didn't have to do that. So I'd leave the house in shoes until my feet started to hurt a little bit, and then I would take them off. The last couple times I've left the house just to run to the grocery store or whatnot, I haven't even put my shoes on. It's the middle of winter here, mind you. But of course, that only hits 40 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the coldest it gets. I'm from Pennsylvania, where we can hit -5 or so. And 0 is like -18 degrees Celsius or something. I don't remember the exact math. It shocks people here when I tell them how cold it gets in the winter in Pennsylvania. And of course, that's far from the worst winters that North America has to offer. And then the summers, which obviously we haven't gotten there yet, but the highs should be in the mid to upper 70s. I'm very much looking forward to that. Let's see, we've been to the beach a couple times because there's rather a lot of beaches around New Zealand, and they come in a variety. Like there's this one beach we went to that was it was all rocks, but the tide, the surf was amazing. It was very like primal experience being on that shore. Near us at Waitarere, again, hope I'm saying that right, is a surf club. So that is obviously going to be a nice beach. It must get good waves in surf season, and it's only a 15-minute drive from here. So sometimes we'll just say, hey, want to go to the beach? And we can run down to the beach. Yeah, just there's a lot of things that we really like about living in New Zealand as compared to the States. If people want to hear me ramble more about such things, do please ask or write some comments down below and I'll let you know. Till then, everybody stay safe out there. Much love. Bye.